The Arizona Cardinals are getting screwed by the NFL. They're trying to do this to Arizona. We're going to look at it on today's show. Welcome into Cardinals Today, presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and before we dive into the news, we've got a sub-battle going on here at Chat Sports. I want to beat Seahawks fans this time, okay? We're challenging Seahawks today to a subscriber battle, all right? We get off to an early lead against them. We got 24 new subs. They've got 17 today. But I want to smash the Seahawks. I want something to feel excited about here in the NFC West, and I need your help, Cardinals fans. So if you are a diehard Cardinals fan, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the show. So first of all, and we've got a lot to look at today, but number one, it is the strength of schedule rankings from the NFL after the NFL schedule release. And this is based on opponent win percentage from last year, and you'll see that the Cardinals are up there with the third hardest schedule by that metric. But according to Warren Sharp's model, who takes in a little bit more in account, like Vegas win totals, right? A little bit more of a projection for teams next year, the Cardinals have the hardest schedule in the NFL, the number one ranked schedule in terms of difficulty. And that is tough to endure for a team that is already struggling and was 3-14 last year. And then we dive deeper into the Cardinals' schedule here with some numbers from Warren Sharp, and you will see the teams with red bars. That means they're ranked opponents between 22nd and 32nd in the NFL in terms of difficulty, and so that means tough schedule if there's red bars. Look how many are on the Cardinals' schedule next year. It's all the division, of course, but also the opponents outside of the division. I mean, how in the world did the NFL think it was fair to give the Cardinals this schedule? How can they be competitive next year? More insight on the difficulty of this schedule. 9 games against top 10 defenses. 9 games against top 11 offenses. You can't catch a break if you're the Arizona Cardinals this year. And look, I'm not saying it's something that bad teams don't deserve. You know, there's a random factor in this, and the NFL definitely doesn't want teams to tank, but it's just going to be difficult for the Cardinals organization, for their fans, to watch if it is really this tough this year. Also, 10 games versus teams with winning records in 2025, okay? 10 of the games. And the ones that don't have winning records are the Cowboys, Saints, Giants, and Chiefs, who all got better. So 10 teams that had winning records last year, plus those 4. I mean, guys, the NFL just decided to cook up the toughest schedule possible for Arizona this season when we don't even have a quarterback. And then you look at their road games as well, because the other thing is, you know, of the teams that didn't have winning records, like the Giants, Chiefs, and Saints, you have to face them on the road. Like, maybe I'd like our chances in a home game against the Giants or something, but you got to, in New Orleans, but you got to go there and play the teams that have gotten better. Not to mention, you're at the Chargers in the first week of the season, and you're also at Dallas again. It's difficult to have to go to all these stadiums, and then the home games are just tough matchups in itself. And you look at the start of the season, I mean, you're thrown into the fire right away. You start on the road at Chargers, then you come home to host the defending Super Bowl champions, and then go to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco, you got to fly to New York to play the Giants. It's just a bad spot to get the G-men. I would have rather, you know, if you're trying to get wins here, a little bit of a cushier road at home. No, you're flying all over the place, probably getting beat by some tough teams. And so there's a lot of tough back-to-back-to-back matchups in the Cardinals' schedule. There's some more that we need to look at in some advanced metrics, but also we'll talk about how things could actually be good for the Cardinals going forward. But first, let's give a special shout-out to today's sponsor. That is Prize Picks. It's a place to go if you love daily fantasy sports. Player Picks on fire right now as playoff basketball gets going, and there's no better place to cash in while watching sports than with Prize Picks. With the Salsa Feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks lineups with your friends and copy lineups in a single click. That includes me, and includes producer Ethan. Whoever you follow on Prize Picks, you can tail our picks or fade them and get the picks before we post them on the show. 2-pick power play for game 1 tomorrow night. I'm going to go more on Jalen Brunson's points, more than 27.5. I think this is a Brunson scoring night early in New York, and then I'm going to go more on Jared Allen's points, more than 10.5. He was dominant in Game 7 for Cleveland. That is $20 to pay out $50. It's really easy, really fun to use the Prize Picks app, guys. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats and lock in your lineup. And a new user offer, if you download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Link is in the comment section and description of today's video, and that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Another tough stretch here for Arizona. After that weeks 1 to 4 I just showed you, you've got to host Detroit, and then you go to the Rams, come home to host the Broncos, who are a Super Bowl favorite, according to the odds makers. Then you travel to Dallas and have to go play the Seahawks on the road. I mean, guys, it gets brutal to start the first 9 weeks. How are we thinking this is going to go? Let me know. In the comment section, comment your Arizona Cardinals record prediction for next year. I do think the Cardinals are improving, but that is just a tough draw. So let me know your record prediction for this football team. Now let's talk about how the tough schedule could actually be one positive thing for Arizona. There's actually good that could come out of this. You're probably sitting there saying, Joey, what are you talking about? Well, hear me out for a second. I'm going to highlight one of our viewers. This is comment of the day from Cardinals Today. We're going to start doing maybe some of these if you guys keep commenting some funny stuff. So shout out to Mizaki. He says, I hope your projection is correct, my man, because if it is, both Monty and Mike LaFleur will be gone, and we can start trying to build an adult organization at last. This was on a record prediction video I made where I had the Cardinals going 3-14, and one Cardinals fan says, I hope you're right so that we can fire Monty and then get a high draft pick. And when you think about it, I wonder, is this something Cardinals fans would like in the end? Obviously, it'll be frustrating during the season, and we'll be watching the games. We'll be covering the games for you guys, so make sure you're subscribed and probably ranting with you. But in a year's time, when that 2027 NFL draft class gets here, NFL insider Jordan Schultz tells us it is insanely deep, and he says, I can tell you right now, there are teams and scouts who are absolutely giddy about it, licking their chops. They cannot wait for that class to hit the market. And some names, just to highlight a few that Schultz points out above the others. I mean, take a look at not just Arch Manning, who could be the number 1 pick, but Dante Moore, who would have been the 2nd or 3rd overall pick in this class. Julian Sayin, Drew Mestamaker, C.J. Carr, a Heisman favorite, Lenora Sellers, maybe Brendan Sorsby, if he's not in the supplemental draft, is in this one, and Trinidad Chambliss, Darian Mensah, Sam Levitt. I mean, there's some dogs. Okay, franchise quarterbacks are available here. And so I wonder if this is part of the reason they wanted to move on from Kyler. Maybe Arizona figured, listen, we can't pay Kyler all this guaranteed money, because it was a lot of guaranteed money, guys. Like, I did videos on that. Go back and watch. It was more millions than you can fathom. They would have paid Kyler when they didn't think he was their future, and they were ready to draft another QB. Because you look at it from a perspective of right now, if we're living in the moment here, well, Kyler's a much better quarterback option than what the Cardinals are rolling out there next season. And so this had to be part of a long-term, we don't want to pay Kyler because he's not the future of this organization anymore, which is a sad development. The Cardinals do have a lot of pieces on their depth chart, though. I mean, the wide receiver room is looking brighter if MHJ could take that leap again. Michael Wilson was fantastic last year. Kendrick Bourne is a very solid 3, but namely that top 2 duo could be special. Same with Jeremiah Love, who's a playmaker, who is the best player in this draft. I think I'm most excited to watch Jeremiah Love of all the rookies, naturally. He's going to be fantastic. And that's a good running back room. Overcrowded? Yeah, but that's nothing wrong with having a lot of talented pieces in one room. Tyler Algier, free agency signing. James Conner, Trey Benson still in the room at the moment. So that's going to be a talented offensive room. And the O-line was improved with a nice free agency signing of Isaac Seumalo and rookie Chase Bisontis comes in. You got guards that you needed. Elijah Wilkinson, also a free agency signing. People still point to right tackle being a massive hole. I think Wilkinson can give you somewhat decent play, and we'll see if I'm wrong about that. But I actually think that he was being hurt in his last system, and that's why he sounded off about it. And then Paris Johnson Jr., I mean, he's at your cornerstone left tackle. Also, Trey McBride, I say it all the time, make the case that he's the best tight end in the NFL currently, because if you look at the last 2 seasons, dude, 1,239 yards and 11 touchdowns. Oh, and the year before that, 1,146 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's a reception machine. Reliable, safe. We need players like Trey McBride on this Cardinals roster going forward, and we are happy to have him. And so you think about that. There's definitely holes that the Cardinals still need to fill, right? But they also have young talent on the roster for the future. When you are getting to the point of we draft Arch Manning, let's say. He's just the one you throw out there. I don't know that he's actually going to be the best quarterback in this class, but you draft the quarterback you think will be your franchise quarterback, and they've got Jeremiah Love now next to them, right to the right of them or behind them in the backfield. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson on the outside, and Trey McBride and better O-line. Still could use a little bit of work on O-line and, adding holes, like I said, but there's young talent all of a sudden, and young is the key to a lot of the pieces I just named, including Chase Bisontis. Defensive talents there as well in different spots. I would add to some holes on defense as well. But to name a few, Walter Nolan, Josh Sweat, those are guys that are there for years and have been very productive. Mac Wilson, I love watching. Budda Baker, a little bit older, but I bet you a lot of people will still tell you Budda Baker's one of the best safeties in the NFL. Will Johnson, who slid in the draft a little bit that year, was a great draft pick by Monty Ossenfort. So there's pieces. There's pieces for the future. Maybe we can finally be optimistic about a Cardinals' future going forward. But you tell me, do you think in your lifetime the Cardinals will win a Super Bowl? I want to know. And you don't have to age yourself, but you can. You can tell me you're 60 years old and you don't know if you'll see one. You can tell me you're 20 years old and you think you will eventually. Let me know down below, will the Cardinals win a Super Bowl in your lifetime? Type yes or no in the comment section. I want to see where the Cardinals fans and the Red Sea are at today. That's going to do it for today's Cardinals Today episode. I'm your host, Joey O. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. It's been a great time chopping it up about Cardinals football. So I'll get more videos coming your way like I do. Hit that sub button and stay tuned.